Looking for a tech job, a developer job in 2026 is a humiliation ritual. In this video, I'm going to explain to you why I think that it's a humiliation ritual, why the tech wave, at least for developers, coders, is starting to run dry, and what you need to do to succeed moving forward. Hope you guys stick around. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll catch you on the next one. In 2020, it was way easier to get a developer job. I had companies begging me. But now in the big 2026, looking for a tech job feels like a humiliation ritual. I've had so much nonsense happen to me over the past 5 months because that's how long I've been unemployed, for 5 whole months. For 5 months, I've woken up every single day, scoured LinkedIn, scoured Indeed, filled out application after application after application, all seemingly in vain. I've had recruiters contact me, ask me to do all kinds of ridiculous tasks with no results. I've had many companies make me do 5, 6, 7 interviews for absolutely no reason. I went through a whole ordeal with PayPal where I did 6 interviews with them. I passed the interviews. I know for a fact that I passed the interviews because after the interviews, I messaged the interviewers one by one on LinkedIn, and I had full-on conversations with all of them, and every single one of them told me they marked me as a hire. A week later, PayPal announces that they're trying to be acquired. So they probably laid off a bunch of people and realized we don't need to hire anybody. Either that or they were just wasting my time. In 2026, tech companies no longer value your time as an engineer. They see you as disposable. They think that they no longer need developers. I have seen all kinds of ridiculous things. Yesterday, I had an interview with a company I was extremely excited for because I filled out the application and like within an hour, I got an email back asking me to schedule an interview. I scheduled the interview. Based off of the requirements of the job, I thought it was gonna be a high income job. They were asking for 7 years of experience. They had a list of requirements that was very extensive. The kind of stuff that you see on companies that are paying $200,000, $300,000, $400,000. So I went into the interview extremely excited. The moment I turned on Teams, there was a red flag. The guy interviewing me was in a plain t-shirt. He says, "Hi, I'm the owner of the company." I said, "Owner of the company? Okay. Maybe it's a small startup, right?" You never know. Sometimes a small startup can still be a good gig, right? He explained what the company was all about and how it was a startup idea. Come to find out, he had just vibe coded an app. And the app had 35, 40,000 subscribers, supposedly, allegedly. I don't know how true it was, but that's what he was saying, right? He tells me that he did everything with ChatGPT and that he was looking to bring on another developer to get to the next level because he was starting to exceed his knowledge scope. So we have a decent conversation and I'm getting a little excited, but also there's a lot of red flags while he's talking. And I asked him, "So what is your budget?" And that's when all hell broke loose. Homie looked at me with a straight face and said, "It's 200,000 over the next 7 years. Are you serious, dude? 200,000 over the next 7 years? I'm trying to make 200,000 today, just me alone." And that's when I realized he was wasting my time. If the salary of the job is not 150,000 minimum, 200,000 minimum, you shouldn't be posting it on LinkedIn, buddy. You shouldn't be posting it on Indeed. That's a job that should be on Fiverr, a job that should be on Upwork. You just wasted a professional engineer's time. In this current job atmosphere, I might be too nice. Maybe I need to get meaner with these guys because realistically, I felt like laughing in his face. I felt like saying, "Are you a freaking idiot? Are you a moron? Do you know how much money I made at the last company I worked for? Like, why would you even waste my time? And also your list of requirements is absurd for the amount of money you're going to be paying. You said $200,000 over 7 years. What are you talking about?" And this is the problem I am facing as an engineer in 2026, that because of AI, now they're starting to devalue the worth of engineers. There are so many companies that are startups where some random dude typed in a few prompts in ChatGPT and it built him a garbage app with horrible architecture. But because he did it himself and it works, he now thinks he's an engineer. And he thinks to himself, "Why am I going to pay this guy $150,000 or $200,000 if I can do it myself?" But what he doesn't realize is that you're wrong. You can't do it yourself, at least not yet. I swear to God that looking for a job in 2026, a tech job, is a humiliation ritual because I keep running into all these clowns. The first problem I have is the phantom jobs. I am so tired of companies wasting my time, posting job openings that don't exist. If you own a company, I don't care what size the company is, and you're not really hiring people, please remove your job listings from LinkedIn and Indeed. Stop playing this stupid game where you pretend that you're hiring people so that you can tell investors that your company is growing. I am tired of it. It shows the lack of respect that you have for everybody in the room. Not only are you disrespecting your investors, you're also disrespecting everybody else in the room. You're disrespecting your potential workforce. You're disrespecting the HR department that has to sift through all the resumes for absolutely no reason. You're disrespecting the engineers that had to interview me, even though you were never planning on hiring anyone at all. And it also shows me that your company has a lack of time management and doesn't understand return on investment. If the management thinks that it's a good idea to waste everybody's time involved posting fake job listings, it shows me that you're a fraud and you're fake, and B, you're not using your engineers and employees efficiently. So even if you were hiring, why would I want to work at a company like that? A company that doesn't value people's time. I am sick and tired of the phantom jobs. The second thing that is annoying me is data mining. There are so many companies, especially the medium tier ones, that just go on LinkedIn and Indeed and post job listings to data mine. They're collecting info on potential hires so they can sell it to other people. They're collecting your data for nefarious reasons, to spam you, to try and sell you a product. It's extremely freaking annoying. More than anything, what really annoys me is when the company doesn't have their application process built into LinkedIn and they want you to go to a third-party website and create an account. I ran into so many companies that actually try to sell me a product while I'm trying to look for a job. It's like the audacity. Oh yes, we're hiring engineers, but before you get a job as an engineer, can you sign up for this service? Talk about scammers. Talk about shady practices. A lot of these bigger companies, I'm talking about the bigger companies, will put you through all kinds of ridiculous hoops. They'll give you a take-home project. We need you to come up with an application that does X, Y, Z, and then explain it to us. And what they're really doing is they're farming ideas. Oh, we live in a dirty world nowadays, man. We live in a scumbag world. Can you imagine you apply for a company like Meta? And I'm gonna use Meta because this happened to me. You apply for a company like Meta and they give you a project, a take-home project, but without any guidance, nothing. They say, come up with this. We have an idea and we want you to expand on it, create a scalable app that fulfills this use case. And you goddamn well know they're not doing this to see your actual skills. They're doing this so that you work on the project for them. You're essentially being a contractor for free. The idea that they send you home with, the take-home project, is not a simple one at all. They sent me home with a geotag. I can't even say it with a straight face. They sent me home with a geotagging project. I already know that maybe the whole project is not going to be used for something in your company, but the core algorithm, we're not stupid, but maybe we are stupid. Maybe we are stupid because engineers, the ones that actually still have jobs, they're engineering their way out of a job. These engineers are so obsessed with AI, they're so obsessed with pushing the envelope that they develop the tools that will replace them because they're so arrogant. They think, oh, I just came up with this new tool that writes all the code. It creates the architecture. It does the UI. I can't be replaced. I'm a genius. And it's like, no, you're not a genius. They're going to replace you with the tool you just made. Are you dumb? Things are getting crazy out here, man. The level of manipulation that I see in this job market is astounding. I remember 2 years ago in 2024, I was happy with my job, making a good salary, and I would log into my LinkedIn every once in a while. I would literally have messages from recruiters in my inbox offering me jobs. When I got laid off in November, I opened up my LinkedIn. I had not opened up the LinkedIn for about a year and a half. And I went to my spam and I had job offer after job offer after job offer after interview request after interview request after interview request. Back to back. But in the big 2026, it is dry out here. I'm applying every single day to at least 20 to 50 jobs and I'm getting almost no calls back. When I do get calls back, they waste my time. They got me doing all kinds of nonsense, jumping through all kinds of hoops, all kinds of data structures and algorithms. For the people who don't understand engineering, engineering is a pretty fast-paced environment, right? You could be an expert at something today and tomorrow something new comes out and you need to learn that. All of these companies, they want you to have 10 years of experience, but they also want you to be up to date on the latest frameworks and APIs, which is a big ask. It's a big ask because if you've been employed for the past 10 years, you're probably locked in at the company you were at. You didn't have time to stay up to date with the latest frameworks. As an engineer, I feel like a lot of these companies don't even know what they're looking for. They have nonsense job listings. They want to hire a junior engineer that has 10 years of experience. Who wrote this listing? I literally saw a listing like that today. It said junior iOS engineer. And then in the description requirements, it said 9 years of experience. So they want somebody with 9 years of experience that's going to get paid a junior salary. Is that what they're actually saying? Because if that's the case, they're out of their minds. Tools like Claude have devalued engineers in the minds of project managers, project owners, the suits. But the thing is, the suits are actually not that smart because they don't realize that if I'm replaceable to this degree, what are you? What are you? That's peak delusion if you think that middle management, your role is that critical. If my job, the technical job, is getting taken by AI, your job, which is just basically being in meetings and attempting to manage the engineers, is going to be gone faster than mine, buddy. Open up your eyes. HR, you're gone too. All of these people that are still employed, right? Whenever I get an interview and they sit me down with the engineers that are already on the team and they start interviewing me, they have the smug faces of, oh, well, I still got a job. For now, let's see who's going to be laughing last, buddy. The fools that interviewed me at PayPal, those guys probably already lost their job. Like I said, PayPal made me go through a whole humiliation ritual, 6 interviews. I busted my ass studying. I aced the interviews. I talked to the hiring managers. I talked to everybody. They all said, we marked you as hire. And now the company's coming out saying that they're in financial straits and they want to sell the company. That only tells me that the writing is on the wall for the guys that interviewed me. They're cooked too. They're going to be in the same boat as me. This is a compounding issue. That's the problem. Because as more and more engineers flood the market, it devalues us even more. Supply and demand, baby. It's getting scary out here. So I actually don't know what to do. I came on here and made this video, but I honestly don't know what to do. I'm going to continue looking for a job. I'm going to continue applying. I know I'm a good engineer, but does that even matter in 2026? That's the real question you should be asking yourself as an engineer. Is being a good engineer something that even matters anymore? Because from what I can tell, I guess it doesn't. And also, even if I'm a good engineer and I ace the interview, I do the full humiliation ritual, I was working at a mid-tier company. If a guy from Meta, if a guy from Google, if a guy from Microsoft that is less qualified than me applies at the same job, just because of the place where he worked at before, they might just pick him. And the problem is that those companies are laying off tons and tons and tons of people, thousands of people. So they're flooding the market and they're ruining it for all the actual good engineers. Not saying that there aren't good engineers in those companies, because they are, but a lot of them are sitting back on their laurels. It's frustrating. I am so lucky that when I lost my job, I had saved money, I had my severance, and I also had a settlement from my car accident. Those 3 things saved my ass. But I can only imagine a person who didn't have any money. Imagine if I was a guy who had squandered all the money I made in those years and I went and I bought a Lamborghini SVJ instead of a McLaren 570S, right? All of my buddies were always saying, oh, bro, why'd you buy a 570S? You can get a better car than that. And I said, no, because I want to stay within my means. I want to have money to spend on food, whatever food I want, live a nice, lavish lifestyle as far as eating food. I want to have money to be able to travel, to go on vacations, to do adventures with my girlfriend. And I also want to have a nice car. And also, the amount of money we pay for this apartment is the same amount of money as some people pay for their mortgage. So I had a very balanced out lifestyle, right? I had my investment accounts, which I still do have. I had my savings. I had my settlement, and I had my severance. But imagine if I was a guy who was not disciplined financially and I went and I bought the most expensive car I could afford. I could have fucking bought a Lamborghini SV. I could have been driving around in a Lamborghini SV, showing off, living outside of my means. But then when the struggle hits, I'd be suffering. I would probably have no money right now. Everybody wants to go big dog, but you got to think, especially in tech, tech is a very wishy-washy industry. One day you could be on top, the next day you could be bankrupt. I guess this video serves as a warning to anybody who's planning on getting into tech, especially if you're going to college for software engineering, you're cooked. You're cooked. You better pivot into something else. Machine learning, anything else. But don't try to be a coder, developer. I give this 5 more years at most. I'm going to get one more job. Hopefully it's a job with equity. Hopefully the company I get a job at gets bought out and I become a millionaire and I don't have to worry about this anymore. But if you're a student, you're cooked. And for the people who still have a job in tech, for the people who are still engineers, you better be saving your money. You better be putting your max contributions to your 401k. You better have a personal investment account as well. You better have like 3 investment accounts. You better be saving as well. Don't live a lavish lifestyle. Don't go balls to the wall because you're going to regret it. I got lucky. I'm a cautious person. All of my car friends were telling me, bro, at least get a McLaren 600 LT. At least get an Artura. Luckily for me, I didn't listen to those people. I stuck with my McLaren 570S, and before that, I had a Porsche. I was able to live within my means, save some money, invest, and I'm good right now. I haven't had a job for 5 months. I'm good. I literally have enough money to last me for probably 3 years if I really budget it. If I budget it well, maybe more than that, maybe 4 years. Now, that doesn't mean that I don't want to get a job right now. I'm looking for a job because I don't want to spend the money I've saved up and my investments and whatnot. And if worse came to worse, I could liquidate everything I have. Like, I have a freaking $20,000 watch on my wrist. Not everybody can say that. Not everybody has watches and equipment, jewelry, stuff they can sell. I'm lucky. I just got lucky. This could have gone wrong. This could have gone in a completely different direction. So I need you to wake up, lock in. If you're in tech, find the pivot. This is not the strategy. It's over. I feel like the tech run, at least for developers, is done. There's something new on the horizon. I would jump on that. Maybe becoming an expert in AI is what you need to do. I'm going to start really doing some research in AI because I need to jump on the next wave. This wave is, this wave is almost done. This wave is drying up. It's drying up. Anyways, I had to get that off my chest. Subscribe. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.